here we go again. It's been 316 days since the climax to last season in Brazil, but we're now ready to roll here in Austria. Welcome along, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to round one of the brand new season of the Formula A World Championship held at the iconic Red Bull Ring here in the Styrian Hills. Longer races, 4 new locations, 6 new tracks, a record 20 rounds, 3 sprint races, and 4 new drivers to take on our reigning world champion, Milton Verve. Couple that with a regulation change over the off-season, and we're in for a very interesting opening round. Here's the circuit then, the shortest lap of the season here in Spielberg, Austria. 4.3 kilometers in length, 10 corners, 3 to the left and 7 to the right. We're contesting 25 laps this afternoon. Alexia Pernay is the defending winner, and the lap record stands as a 1 minute 10.983 set by Sergio Arbeloa last year with the Fireside team. And with the downpour of rain over the circuit, I'm seriously doubting that record will be broken here today. So here's your starting grid then ahead of the Austrian Grand Prix. Sophie debuts for Fireside from pole position, and Sergio Arbeloa starts alongside her on row 1. Milton Verve starts his title defence from 3rd on the grid. Chloe Thomas now leading the Abbey Grand Prix team on the outside of row 2. Alexia Pernay won this race last year, she starts in 5th place, and Nathan Denyo making his debut for Abbey Grand Prix in 6th. Manuel Hadjo stays on at Downton Moor for this year, he starts in 7th place, and Scott Price also stays consistent with his team starting from 8th. Liam Turton starts from 9th, this is his debut for Downton Moor today, and Luca Gatto rounds it on top 10. It's the 2 Roos cars on row 6, Max Schmidt and Eduardo Melo also making his debut for his new team today. Austin Zarate and Carlos Pino, a pair of Abbey Academy rookies, they line up together on row number 7 for their debuts. Pascal Becker starts in 8th, having moved from Fireside to XCT, and Joe Daly's moved from Downton Moor to Morimoto. Oscar Diaz managed to win a race last year for XCT, and Mick Wallan stays consistent at Axel 76. On row number 10, Rico Tanaka making his debut for the Axel 76 team, and Lucas Favorani making his debut for Morimoto. And on row 11, the 2 Formula B graduates from last season, Connor Chapman, and last year's champion in that category, Artur Mikhailevich, debut for Thornton. And here's the weather report then, courtesy of Meteo Group. It's going to be light rain over the course of the entire Grand Prix. It's not going to let up for a moment, so very challenging conditions for our drivers to tackle in this opening round. So let's get right into the Grand Prix. So here we go then, Sophie Sevilla and Sergio Arbeloa head up the front row. Reigning champion Milton Verve just behind them, and Chloe Thomas, always a regular contender, from 4th. 5 red lights now for the first round of the brand new Formula A World Championship in 2022. And it's lights out and we are underway. It's a decent getaway from Sevilla, but an even better start though by Arbeloa on the left hand side as they charge towards turn 1. He got a better run off the line, but then could get that run off the hill towards turn 1. He could go around the outside here, in towards the first corner, and the Mexican now takes away the lead. Chloe Thomas also passes through on the outside, moves Sophie Sevilla down to 3rd and almost 4th. Now here comes Nathan Denyo on his debut for Abbey Grand Prix. Sophie Sevilla watching the driver who took her old car, now steaming past her on the left hand side. Arbeloa shows the way. Chloe Thomas trying to brake later. Keep an eye on Milton Verve back there in 5th place. Here comes Scott Price up to 6th and now into 5th place. He goes at the inside of Verve and moves up into that 5th spot. Brilliant start there from the American to season with Jaguar RT. And now the 2 Apex cars down to 6th and 7th, and that could be 8th here. As here comes Eduardo Melo trying to make a move on Alexia Pernay, trying to take that 7th spot away. He's going to go all the way to the inside. They come very close to contact. Melo's got the room. He looks inside that Ruiz machine, looking strong in pre-season. He's got away with it. Move Eduardo Melo up to P7 here. Pernay down in 8th place now. This is terrible stuff here from the Frenchwoman. Arbeloa leads up front then. Chloe Thomas not too far behind, about just under half seconds it's down to make the way out of the 2nd sector. Brilliant getaway though from Arbeloa. He shows the way. Thomas in 2nd. Nathan Denyo now up into 3rd place. Sophie Sevilla still all over him, trying to get that spot back. She looks all the way to the inside into the final right-hander on the circuit, and Sevilla goes charging through. There's a bit of a slow run to that last right-hander. Behind them, Verve gets back past Scott Price for 5th place, but it's Arbeloa who leads the first lap. Yellow flag already. Who is that? I'm not quite sure what's happened here, but someone's slow up here somewhere. Oh, and there goes Artur Mikhailevich. He's lost his entire front wing there. The car, the Thornton machine, briefly went airborne. And I think Oscar Diaz didn't get any damage. He's definitely got a piece of that. Terrible start to the race for these two. Here's Austin Zarate running P12. The Indonesian making his debut here, being challenged by Max Schmidt in the other Ruiz. Of course, Melo had a very good start, and now Schmidt trying to get involved in that. Pino dives back to the inside. Brilliant racing here early on in these wet conditions, which he's definitely at home at right away. Yellow flag already. Who would that be for? Oh, it's Lucas Favorani in the Morimoto. He may have had a problem and is out of the race already. A puncture, putting Favorani out of the running early on. Nick Wallan, the Monegasque, being challenged by a bunch of different cars here. Joe Daly in the lead of that pack. He's locked up a little bit. I think he was hit from behind. We've got Carber's inside, and there goes Wallan. making his way back through. So Davis also has a rearview mirror full of Carlos Pino. He's fallen back here. Rico Tanaka now challenging Pascal Becker on the run down towards that fourth corner. Pino on the outside. Becker moves up. Covers off the Abbey Academy machine. Puts Becker in his first race for XCT. Manuel Hadre now challenging one of the Jaguar team machines. I believe that is Scott Price. Price holding on to that spot. The Red Bull car incredibly strong here. It's Pascal Becker. Oh, makes contact and around goes Joe Daly. I think Pino may have hit him from behind and that's triggered that accident. And Joe Daly from Morimoto quickly has to recover the car. No damage done to his machine. So we can carry on without doubt. But I dare say the stewards might have something to say about that. In terms of the collision between Pino and Becker. Daniel, once again, his defensive skills being tested by Alexia Pernet as they go back up towards turn 1. She's got her nose in there this time. But Daniel goes back around the outside and very quickly, very shortly, they'll be catching Mikhailovic. Arbeloa now has Chloe Thomas right behind him, and this is where the battle could get interesting. Because that Abbey Grand Prix machine is just as quick as the Fireside in this situation. So here we go, this could be a start of something. In terms of the race lead, Chloe Thomas now less than 3 tenths behind. She goes to the inside in turn 1, breaks real late there into the first corner. Does she get it? Yes, she does. Chloe Thomas now into the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix after a sensational pass there as we begin lap number 12. But Arbeloa, could he come back at her though? The battle might not be over yet. Is Arbeloa falling away? No, he's not. He's still right there. So a good run into turn 4. He could still have a chance. Arbeloa now once again going back at it and keep an eye on Sophie Zavia, who's not too far behind either. As Arbeloa looked inside in towards that first corner. And I think he may have got him here. So got her there, sorry. And Arbeloa up into the lead. So Sergio Arbeloa now back out front. And Sophie Zavia not too far behind these guys either. So we could see a very exciting 3-way race for first place. Chloe Thomas now looks to the outside. Now back to the inside as Arbeloa tries to cover her off into turn 1. Chloe Thomas may have the lead back. And looks like Arbeloa's gotten away with it here. He holds on. And Sophie Zavia now looking for second. Off of Chloe Thomas. The two former teammates now slugging it out for second place as Arbeloa tries to get away. Arbeloa defending the inside. And Milton Verve not too far behind either. Okay, as I keep saying, this race is in no way over and we've still got 10 laps to go. And Milton Verve not too far from fourth. Max Schmidt pulling over to the side of the track. He may have a problem of some kind here. And he's pulling over onto the grass. And that could be the end of the race for the Roos driver as he parks alongside the trees of the Styrian Hills. And that could be the race for Max Schmidt. The yellow flags are flying. I'm unsure as to what the problem could be, but Max Schmidt over on the side of the track, out of the running. And that's going to be the end of the race for him. Manuel Hadre once again challenging Nathan Vigneault. But moving back into line to round the penultimate right-hander, sorry. Into the last corner they come. Sergio Arbeloa, that mid-race assault on the top spot. Oh, there's Eduardo Melo, who's also pulling over to the side. And this could be the end of the race completely for Ruiz. And the race, it's definitely over for the orange and blue machines here. Is now, could it be the same problem that's taken Eduardo Melo out of this Grand Prix? Manuel Hadre passing. They passed Nathan Vigneault, Luca Gatto passing Liam Turton is up into a points paying place, and Austin Zarate is also now up into the top 10 on his debut. As Scott Price enters the pit lane, so he's now down the order as well. What's he in the pits for? This puts Oscar Diaz into 14th, and now Tanaka's defending for 15th place, and Pascal Becker and Melo out of the race as the leaders go past. As Arbeloa begins the last 5 laps of this race. 1.4 seconds between Sophia and Verve. And Chloe Thomas now pulling over to the side, so there was no instant she's got a problem. And late on in a race that Chloe Thomas, that perhaps not winning, but definitely a podium finish without a doubt, now out of the Grand Prix. So could this be reliability? Problems that, and there's smoke pouring out the back of that race car. And Chloe Thomas with just a few more laps to go in a race that she looked like potentially winning, now out. turning considerably slower here. Could there be a problem on the car? There is. It's looking like he's got a brake problem of some kind, according to the cockpit camera. So that could render him out of the race in these late stages, and not how he would have wanted his Delta Moore debut to end. And that'll move Carlos Pino up into the points, should he manage to catch him. And Sergio Arbeloa up front only has to hold on for one more lap in order to take his first victory of 2022. Another victory for Fireside. Sevilla defending for her life against Verve here. Both been flying past Mikhailowicz for the second time in this Grand Prix. As Arbeloa starts the last lap. Verve right in the back of Sevilla here. We'll have to keep an eye on these two as they come back down the hill and back up to turn 3. So will Verve get enough for a run? He might try and challenge now, you know. He's going to dive to the inside and attempt to take second place away. This could be a late change in position. And it's going to go to the reigning world champion, Milton Verve, who fights his way into second place on the last lap of the Grand Prix. Spectacular racing here. And has already developed a slight advantage, and a healthy one there, over Sophie Sevilla. And that will not be the end of the race that she would have wanted. And Arbeloa, though, I'm not sure if he knows what's going on behind him, but he is now on course for victory. But Milton Verve has now disrupted that Fireside 1-2 in the closing stages of this Austrian Grand Prix. I doubt the Fireside team will be too upset, because they're still coming home for a double podium finish, and leading them home is Sergio Arbeloa, who's got 2 more corners to navigate now. He makes his way through into the last corner and rounds it and exits the turn to take the first victory of 2022. Sergio Arbeloa wins the Austrian Grand Prix. Milton Verve home in second place on the last lap. Sophie Sevilla in third. A brilliant race for Sergio Arbeloa, who takes the first victory of the 2022 season. Milton Verve in second and Sophie Sevilla in third. So let's have a look then at the final classification after that quite exciting Austrian Grand Prix. Sergio Arbeloa then takes the victory. Milton Verve starts his title defence with 18 points, and Sophie Sevilla begins her Fireside career from third. Of course, you have to feel for those 4 retirees at the bottom of the order: Chloe Thomas, Eduardo Melo, Max Schmidt, Lucas Favorani. The Roos cars could have scored a decent finish today for both of them, but unfortunately it just wasn't meant to be at the end of the day. And shout out to both the Abbey Academy drivers who get points on their debuts. Arbeloa leads the Drivers' Championship, pretty much the same as the race results. No points for fastest lap in Formula A, so things stayed at the same next point. And Fireside lead the championship in the constructors by 10 points to Apex, and it's down to Moore in third place. Abbey Grand Prix down in fourth to start their season off. They need to get things going.